Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Leading Yourself podcast. This week, we're going to be talking about the things that we need to let go of if we want to be successful. We kicked off this season of the Leading Yourself podcast talking about goal setting, how important it is to set goals, and how to set those goals to be smarter goals. If you set goals that are smarter, that means that those goals are challenging you, are pushing you outside of your comfort zone, are pushing you to become a better version of yourself. If that is true and you still are committed to achieve those goals, we need to talk about what are the things that might be stopping you from reaching those goals that you need to let go right now. So let's dig into today's episode. Welcome to the Leading Yourself podcast. This is your host, Carolina de Arriba. I'm an HR professional, health and fitness coach, wife, mom, and above all things, a goal-getter. In this podcast, we're going to be digging into all things leadership, professional and career development, habits, and relationships. This is a podcast for those who want to become the best version of themselves. Those who have big dreams and are willing to embrace the journey and put in the work to achieve them. My goal is to share with you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you in your journey. So let's dig into today's episode. Setting goals is so important. And if we do it the right way, those goals are going to push us out of our comfort zone, are going to push us to become a better version of ourselves. If within any of the goals that you set for yourself this year, you feel that something is stopping you from achieving those goals, this episode is for you. Because we're going to be talking about the things that we need to let go of this year. See, here is the thing. If you continue to do the same things that you have been doing all along, you're just going to keep getting the same kind of results. And that's why sometimes, or most of the times, we get frustrated because we feel that we're not making progress. We feel that we're not getting closer to our goals, and then we give up. But how many times have you stopped to think about what are the things that you need to change in yourself? What are the things that you need to let go of? And let me be clear, these things can look very different for all of us. They can look different for you than they look for me. But I'm going to be sharing with you some of the most common things that stopped us from becoming a better version of ourselves, from accomplishing your goals, and the things that we should be thinking about letting go, leaving in the past, and moving on. So I'm going to be sharing 12 things. And I hope that as I go through these 12 things, you get some ideas and you think about which of this might be applicable to you and which of this you might want to let go to. So let's dig into all those 12 things. Number one, we need to let go of thinking that we're not ready. Stop thinking that you're not ready, because here's the thing. No one is going to ever be ready for any of the big things in our lives. Starting a business, starting a new job, having a baby, you name it. We just have to figure things out as we go. That isn't to say that we shouldn't have the knowledge, create a plan, do the things that we need to do to increase the chances that we're going to be successful. But that doesn't mean that we need to have everything ready and be ready to take on new opportunities. This is especially true for women. And let me put an example. I hate to generalize, but I know there's a lot of studies out there and a lot of statistics that back this up. But I'm going to give you an example. Job postings. When a job is posted, Women typically look at the job description and they look at the requirements, and unless they meet 100% of the things that are in that job posting, they don't apply because they feel that they're not ready. Men, on the other hand, they look at the very same job posting, and if they feel comfortable with 50 to 60% of the things in the posting, they go ahead and take the risk and apply. We need to stop thinking that we're not ready. We need to let go of that thought that we're not ready yet. I share this quote in previous podcast episodes from Marie Forleo that I love, that it says, success is starting before you're ready. So let go of those thoughts that you're not ready, because the truth is you're never going to be ready. But you need to start somewhere. And what better time to start than now? Number two, things to let go. Let go of breaking promises to both yourself and others. And I want to emphasize promises to yourself because I mentioned this many other times, but we're better at keeping promises to others than we are at keeping promises to ourselves. And that is sad, but it's the truth. And we need to let go of that. If in the past you have been or you have let you down on promises that you made to yourself, let go of that. Leave that in the past and start over today. Every day is a great opportunity to start over. I'm going to share with you a tip on how can you stop breaking promises to yourself. Here's the thing. A lot of the times, the promises that we make to ourselves are huge things. Like, I'm going to start working out 1 hour every day, even though I haven't worked out in the last 3 years. I'm going to read 50 books this year, even though I haven't read a book in 2 years. Those are the type of promises that we make to ourselves. And obviously, we're not going to keep those promises because we're setting totally unrealistic promises to ourselves. So the secret is start rebuilding the trust on yourself by setting small, achievable promises to yourself. Like wake up in the morning and promise to yourself that today you're going to walk for 15 minutes or that you're going to walk 500 more steps that you did yesterday, or promise to yourself that you would read one page of that book before you go to bed. Start making small promises that you can actually keep. And that is going to start to rebuild the trust on yourself so you can stop breaking promises to yourself. Number three, we need to let go of trying to live up to other people's expectations. Many times we don't live our own lives. We live the lives of other people, the things that other people expect of us. And many times, most of the times, those things might not be aligned with our own set of values, with our own dreams, with our own vision for our lives. So let go of trying to live up to everyone's expectations, because here's the thing. The only expectations that you should live up to are your own. Number four, let go of comparing yourself with others. Yes, successful people are meant to be an inspiration. They can be a role model. There's so much that we can learn from people that have already gone through the same journey that we're embarking on. And we should definitely look up to those people for that, for inspiration, for learning, for looking for a role model, but not to compare ourselves to them. Because many times what we do is that we compare a starting point with their finish line. And no wonder why we're always feel disappointed. We always feel that we're not good enough or we are not enough when we are comparing a starting point with their finish line. When we look in social media and the people that we compare ourselves to, what we're comparing ourselves to is to their successes, their wins, the positive things that they've achieved. But we always tend to miss how many times they fall on their way, how many mistakes they made, how long it took them to get where they are, how many times they tried and they failed before getting to where they are. And we're comparing our failures and our falls and our slips with their successes. So let go of comparing yourself with others. The only person that you should be comparing yourself to is to yourself the day before. Am I better today than I was yesterday? Am I better today than I was a month or a year ago? That is the only person that you should be comparing yourself to. Number 5, let go of trying to do everything by yourself. Oh gosh, this is one that I need to definitely let go of. A lot of times we believe that it is expected for us to do it all. And that is just not true. It's okay to ask for help, it's okay to ask for advice. You can even hire someone to help you with certain tasks or certain things. But you don't have to hire someone. Sometimes you can rely on your own support system, your family, your friends. You know, my husband and I, we rely on each other. We team up, we split up the things so we can do all the things, but we're supporting each other and helping each other. And we're planning ahead of time based on our schedules. We know who's taking what. So at the end of the day, we can make it all work. So look around you, look in your immediate support system. Who can you ask help for what? Number 6, let go of trying to be perfect. Everyone fails sometime. Every successful person has failed before. The thing is, or the reason why they're successful is because they keep standing back up and keep trying until they get to where they want to go. There's always going to be hiccups on the way, there's always going to be bumps and roadblocks, and you're never going to be perfect because perfection just doesn't exist. Perfection doesn't exist. This was the biggest aha moment that I had years ago because I was that type of person that always wanted everything to be perfect. And the only thing that that created is one, make me feel that I wasn't good enough. Two, creating a lot of unnecessary stress in my life. And three, it was a time sucking. Like trying to be perfect, it just sucks your time up, and then you don't have time to do the things that are really important in your life. Number 7, we need to let go of procrastination. Don't let procrastination be the reason that you're behind in meeting your targets and your goals and living the life that you want to live. You know, I did a podcast episode just on this topic on how to let go of procrastination. And when I was looking at the stats of the podcast, turns out that that has been so far the most popular episode of all. So if you missed it, go back and listen to it because I think I did something right in that episode that there's thousands of people who have listened to that specific podcast episode. Number 8, let go of being overly self critical. We tend to be our worst critics. We critic things in ourselves that we would never critic in other people. We're always looking for what we did wrong, with what went wrong, with what is wrong with us. Stop that. Stop being overly self critical. You need to be self critical, but let go of being overly self-critical. It's important to reflect on what can we do better because that's the only way that we are going to get better. But don't be overly self-critical. Number 9, let go of blaming others for your problems. Many times, every time that we face a roadblock on the road, every time that we have a problem, we're always looking around us to something or someone to blame for those problems. We need to let go of that. We need to start looking more inwards. I remember someone taught me this, but he asked me to finger point to someone. And when you finger point with your index finger to someone in front of you, you're pointing that person with one finger, but you're pointing back at you with the other four fingers. And basically, it's telling us that story. At the end of the day, this person was trying to taught me that before I look to point to someone or something to blame, I need to look inwards and ask myself, what could I have done better? Or if I was in this situation again, what can I do differently so I can get a different output, right? So stop blaming others for your problems. Start looking inwards. Yes, being self critical, not overly self critical, but looking inside of you and starting by self reflecting on what can you do better next time. Number 10, let go of playing safe. In financial investments, you will hear that higher the risk, higher the profit, right? The more risk you're taking, the higher your chances of a higher return in your investment. And that thing applies to all aspects of our life, applies to our personal growth, applies to our goals, applies to our dreams, applies to our careers. If we don't take risk, then we're not going to see that return of our investment. So stop playing it safe, start taking more risk. Number 11, let go of doubting yourself. This is the thing that always, most of the times, stops us from taking the very first step. And the thing is, you're not going to win the race unless you take that first step. And self doubt kills more dreams than anything else because we freeze, we paralyze, we don't even take that first step because we believe that we're not good enough, that we can do this, that this is not meant to be for us. Stop doubting yourself. Remember what we said before, you're never going to be ready, but you need to take that first step. Don't let your self doubt stop you from taking that first step. And number 12, the last thing to let go of is holding on to relationships that bring you down. I talked about this many times in this podcast. We are the combination of the 5 people that we spend most time with. So it might be a good time to reflect on who are you surrounding yourself with. Are the people that you're surrounding yourself with right now holding you back or bringing you down? And if that is the case, let go of those relationships. And I'm not saying to kill the relationship, but try to avoid those people when you have critical, pivotal moments in your life. When you try to start a new project or a new dream, who are the people that are always telling you all the reasons why you shouldn't do it? The people that are always telling you all the things that can go wrong. The people that are planting doubt, more doubt in yourself than you already have. And I'm not saying that you should kill that relationship, but again, try to avoid those people or going to those people when you're having those pivotal moments in your life, those tough decisions, those times that you're starting new projects or new dreams. And try to spend more time with people that can bring you up, that can lift you up, people that when you're going to start a project, they're going to push you to take the first step. The people that are going to tell you all the reasons why you should do it, or all the things that you have that make you the right person to do what is in your heart and in your mind. So make an audit of who you're surrounding yourself with and try to let go of those relationships that are holding you back or bringing you down. Okay, those are once again 12 of the most common things that prevent people from keep going, from reaching their goals, from becoming a better version of themselves. Those are the most common things that we should all be letting go of. Maybe some of these things resonate with you, maybe some don't. I hope that by me sharing these 12 things, it got you thinking about what might be the things that you should let go of if you want to be successful this year. If you like today's episode, I'm going to ask you two favors. The first one, please go to Apple Podcasts and leave me a review. Every time that you rate the podcast, that you leave a review, it helps get the word out. It helps more people to see the podcast and listen to the episode. So that would really, really help getting the message out to more people. And talking about getting the message out, if you know of someone in your network that you think can benefit from today's content, please share with them today's episode. And with that, I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will see you here again for another episode of the Leading Yourself podcast.